African Muslim culture specifically.
Ooh, because that's where the real nuts and bolts of it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, it's just sad that it's just like, the leftovers from, I don't feel bad for imperialism, but I mean, that's because that cookie crumbled that way before I was even fucking born. But
Yeah, it's Persia, bro.
But it's crazy,
They're
though,
spreading
how,
their
like, look
shit.
at how influential still, hundreds of years later, like, they still practice Muslim. Like, there's no reason that there should be Muslims in Somalia. It doesn't make any sense.
Right, that's, yeah.
But a lot
Persia,
of those
bro.
pirates are fucking Somalis.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know nothing about it, but you always hear about it in the news, like it's some huge ordeal, and I think that's why there's always like killings and shit over there because of that religion crap, isn't there?
Well, what is it? I mean, I know the whole like Serbian war was Muslim versus non-Muslims, right?
Right, that was, yeah. The Serbians were, they were basically oppressing the Bosnians.
Who were the oppressors? Was it was the non-Muslims?
It was, yes,
Or was
yes.
yeah, it was the non-Muslims.
Yeah, that were oppressing Muslim Bosnians.
Okay.
And not that all Bosnians are Muslim, but like a good majority are.
How the fuck did we get on this topic?
You get all
Sorry.
you get all the crosstalk from Turkey and from like but you get all like Christianity from like the rest of that region, like from Croatia and shit like that.
And then King Leopold with his rubber quotas in the was that the Congolese?
They weren't wearing rubbers back then.
Shit,
No.
dog.
They were.
Anyways, enough about
Condoleezza
Africa,
Rice.
unless we're talking about Toto.
One thing I wanted to bring up this podcast was how like I think something was like my parents told me like 20 years ago. It was like how every certain like amount of years, 10, 15, 20 years, how like styles make a comeback. And I always thought they were lying and it was bullshit. But now that I see it, it's kind of funny because there's a lot of like styles like people wear in high school. Because I'm not really trendy anymore, so I don't really stay up with trends. But I've noticed now that I've got some cousins and stuff and seen the way they dress or whatever, and it's like, that's like stuff my mom and dad used to wear, and like now it's back in style. And the reason I bring this up is because someone at work brought up to me that, I still wear DC clothes and like DC shoes. Some guys like, you're still rocking those? And it's like, yeah, I've been wearing them since like middle school, high school. Like, what the hell's wrong with wearing DC shoes or clothes? Like, I used to skate, so I've always liked their stuff. Plus, I have big ass feet, so it always fits better wearing those type of shoes.
Everybody,
skate shoes,
I feel
man.
like everybody knew back, and at least like in our age period, it was just like, dude, whether you skated or not, like skate shoes were the most comfortable shoes, like because for skating, I mean, there's a fuck ton of padding, unless you were going for like the stripped down like style, like for like Chuck Taylors or some shit like that. But as far as I know, like all the skating I did was done in the most comfortable shoes that I ever owned to this
Right.
day. Like, I mean, I wear the athletic like Adidas and Nike kind of stuff nowadays, but it's fine.
Well, it's like-
but
it's like- it's
but
like-
there's no comparison to like your D. Like I'm just picturing, I forgot what they were called, but there's just a pair of DCs, and they were seriously the most comfortable shoes besides Osiris's I had.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
which
I
is
always
another skating shoe.
I always wear DCs, but as I got older, when I was younger, I tried to fit in, so I always wore like, I'm gonna wear Nikes or I'm gonna wear Adidas or whatever.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Popper shoes or whatever, the trendy
Right.
like more type
What's
shoes.
in, and you know.
But Nikes and Adidas always been in. Like if you're more of a prep jock person, I guess that's just a thing you wear if you're more into that kind of stuff. But I mean, after a while, I realized that Nike shoes are pieces of shit and they fall apart and they're overpriced and
Way overpriced.
I did personally switch to Adidas. I don't think I'm going back to Nike.
I won't
after
ever
my
go back
last
to
pair I
Nike.
bought. They're my lawn mowing shoes now.
Yep. I always like Reebok. Reebok make really good shoes too. It's like Adidas, Reebok. I think Reebok's my special sauce now for like running.
I had a
and
pair
doing
of
type
pumps
shows.
when I was a kid.
But it's funny. The same brought up. It's like talking about the Chuck Taylors. It's like 20 years ago, Chuck Taylors were really popular, and then they went downhill. And all of a sudden, with the craze of like working out and doing shit, now people buy Chuck Taylors when they're squatting and like deadlifting. Right? Those are the popular cool shoes to wear at the gym. Even though they're because they're flat, so you don't have to wear barefoot and worry about your foot getting smushed at the gym, or you can pay $200 for some pair of lifting shoes that are the same fucking thing. But it is funny seeing kids now where they wear like these skinny jeans and like Chuck Taylors and stuff because that was like trendy when like I was a kid when you're a skateboarder, but now it's not. It's kind of like the in thing for girls and guys to wear, which is funny because I didn't know. My wife actually bought me a pair, and I wore them. I was like, wow, these are actually really nice to wear. So
They're
it's just
pretty
weird.
cheap too, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not expensive, like $50 or $60 for a pair of
I
shoes.
thought they're like 30 or 40.
Whatever, I'm sure they range from all different prices, but the reason I bring it up is just funny because it's like nowadays I look at clothes that kids are wearing, like those Supreme clothes. They're like, it's a T-shirt that says Supreme on it, and kids are paying like $300 for a fucking T-shirt.
Oh, I know, that's ridiculous.
Right?
There's no. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just think of like Ed Hardy was another brand. It's
Right,
like
where it's
these
just
are
like-
gaudy ass T-shirts for like $300.
There's no reason for that price point except for you're either just creating scarcity,
Right.
And that's part of the brand strategy. Is it's just like like limited releases. So then like the people that do get that did spend a couple $100s on the shit, that it's just like.
Well, it's just funny. Like, who deems this shit popular? It's the movie stars and the kids, and the rappers, and the people
Well,
that look up to.
here's what I don't understand, and call me cheapskate or whatever, but it's just like I don't care if you're a millionaire or not. If you have a $300 T-shirt, it's just like, dude, like I always spill shit on my shirts, and it's just like it's so funny because it's like I've got a bunch of band shirts from when I went to those concerts. I'm like scared to wear them because I'm scared I'm gonna like fucking fuck them up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
Get a big mustard stain down the front.
exactly, because I do that. And it's just like, so I just
never
think
do that.
about it. It's just like these kids are so rich that it's just like you can wear a fresh Supreme, and then it's like if you soil it, it's like you're gonna go buy another $300
you
shirt.
just throw it in the trash
What's
and then
funny?
go
Have
to
you
mom.
looked at these shirts come from? Like, they're just regular, like Hanes T-shirts or something. They just put Supreme on it, and they'll make a limited edition. And before, like, Supreme was not popular. Just one day, like the last 2 years, like they put Supreme on a brick, and they sell a brick for $1,000, a regular fucking brick.
Well, I guarantee it came from the coast, probably more of the West Coast. I mean the street swear scene. It's just coastal, and yeah, man, it's just like the hip hop head or the shoe heads.
It is. It really is. It's like those Yeezy shoes. It's like some kid at my work had one, and his shoes are already falling apart, and he paid like $400 for them.
They look ridiculous too.
They're so ugly, dude.
They are. They're super ugly. But back to it's just like it's like, don't get me wrong. There is a point that I will spend on clothes, and I do buy sometimes expensive clothes, but it's just like button ups and shit, and it's just like shit where like it's just like I couldn't imagine in my everyday stock being like $50 T-shirts and plus like as my daily wear.
Dude, I still
I'd be
wear
like,
T-shirts that are 10 years old.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with
For
shoes.
real.
It's just like I love white shoes to death, and like I avoid it. I'm currently wearing my pair of all whites, and like I had them clean for months because I only wore them to like go to see a movie or something. And I forgot what I fucking did, but like I got some mud splash on them now. It's like, yeah, I could clean it, but now it's just like I feel like I kind of broke the seal. So it's like
Right.
I feel more comfortable wearing them out now because it's like they got a little bit of
Yeah.
smudge on them, and
Well,
it's like
some
because I didn't before. It was just like I felt like it's seriously just like, oh, I gotta worry about my fucking shoes.
Where some shoes are actually the style is to get them dirty, like Chuck Taylors, like they're supposed to look dirty. Like that's the style. Like you're not supposed to have them clean all the time. I'm super anal, so like all my shoes that I have white on, I always keep them clean. I don't know why. I always bring them home and clean them until they really get fucked up and dirty, like you said, and then I just let them go. But I do the same thing. Like I only wear certain shoes out, like my nice white shoes. I'm going somewhere nice. But if not, I've come to the conclusion I just buy all black shoes now for everything. Like when I go to work or I'm like going to like to work out at the gym or something, I don't need like fancy, nice white shoes. Black shoes, they last forever. They don't mark up. If they do, they're easy to wipe off and clean off, or throw them in the washer and fucking clean them off.
I will always own a pair of white shoes.
So will I. I have literally 3 of them right now, but they're in a box, and I keep them clean because
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's because same thing. It's just like I don't know, man. I just don't get it. People out there wearing $300 Supreme shirts that you can get mustard on when it's like I'm scared to wear. I'm scared to wear the Coldplay shirt that my cousin got me.
But it's just funny,
last
like-
year. because
Also
those-
due to mustard, mustard
yeah,
scare.
it probably
Yeah.
would be mustard, probably Dijon. And but I gotta
Fancy.
worry. It's like
Grey
and it was a
Poupon.
$50 fucking T-shirt. Like it's just like 'cause it really was.
Yeah.
Because their merch is not cheap anymore.
Well,
All merch. That's
I'll
how
tell
they
you
make
what,
money.
And it's just like so I'm scared to wear the goddamn shirts.
like a lot of my clothes I used to wear were PacSun, which was Hurley, Billabong, all that kind of stuff, whatever. And I still actually have all those shirts from high school, and I still wear them time to time. But now that I work and it's more business casual, I wear a lot of Express clothes, but I usually find them from $20 to $50, whatever. Usually $20 to $30 is my limit I'll spend on a T-shirt.
I just wish I was living the PacSun lifestyle.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how brands like push a lifestyle,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I wish I was.
If we lived more West Coast, like San Francisco and California, it'd be a little bit easier to get away with wearing that kind of stuff or whatever about being judged.
Yeah, like a hemp necklace.
Yeah, or puka show.
I mean, people
Yeah.
still refer to me like, oh, you can't, it's Randy because he's got a Hurley hat on. Literally, because that's what I always wear. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. They make the nicest hats. They really do. Like, if you ever see hats that are made nowadays, they're the best quality hats still to this day to me. But my
I've been
point,
big on hats, so I can't speak to it, but I'll take your word for it.
yeah. But my point is, it's I guess it's whatever is deemed at the time in like high school is what kind of drives what the popularity kind of stuff is. Like, I can't remember this type of clothing either, but it's like some guy, it's like makes hoodies, and it looks like he's got like a fucking like dinosaur in the back of the shirt or whatever, and like
Is it Bape?
yeah,
Bathing Ape? Yeah.
it's Bape or whatever the hell. That's what
Yeah.
it is. And
That's actually been that kind of shit's been popular since we were in school, high school. I
really, because
remember.
I never saw anybody wearing
hearing-
Bape.
I just remember Bond talking about bathing ape shit.
Well, whatever. There's another branding of clothes that I just don't see why people pay $300 for a zip-up hoodie. That
I got me some bathing apes.
yeah, I got some Bapes with the same thing that's made, and if I go get something from Express or some other clothing place that's $50, what the hell's the difference? You're paying for the name, of course, at that point. But the reason I bring this up is it's just funny because in high school, no one ever gave a shit about that kind of stuff. Like, oh,
But you thought they did, and you were always constantly being judged at high school.
You were.
Whether you know.
But we talked about this before. It's like it didn't matter. Like some girls, oh, he's good looking because he wears DC or whatever. But it's like I didn't have a group of people we hung out like, oh, we only wore these type of clothes or whatever, like some type of cult or fucking group or
I
something.
wish I could have got a crew together like that. Like me and Brandon, if we could all got dressed up at like the Strokes and never
been
wash our
slaying it.
hair. And, what?
So you would have been slaying it out there.
Yeah, dude. Wearing leather jackets and tight jeans and shit.
Yeah, but of course, in high school, you got the people who are like the jocks and they wear
But
the whatever stuff, and you got the other type of kids like you're saying. But it's like
It's funny thinking about your point you made earlier that everything comes back around, like fads and trends. Like
does.
So like the two I'm looking forward to the most then are going to be the goths, if that comes back around, and then
And Jinko jeans.
Actually,
And then what was-
those have came back. Those have actually
Oh,
came
for
back
real?
because I used to wear those in like grade school. I used to get in
Yeah.
trouble for them.
and then what is it? It's just called cyber goth. That
Cyber
shit where they're always wearing the
Like gas mask, rebreathers.
Dude, Jake's post. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
that was good.
Zero died in an industrial rave today because they were all wearing masks.
Yeah, because they're all cyber guys.
Sorry, I'm butchering the joke, man. I'll have to dig
The,
it up and
uh,
show you because it's fucking hilarious.
Now, have you seen those like videos of them dancing like underneath a bridge?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Shit
about.
is so fun.
I like when
It's so depressing.
I like when they mixed it to like what was that train song they mixed it to?
Oh god.
I can't remember the fucking. It's a little cartoon what they mixed it to, whatever. But regardless, yeah, all those videos are funny with all the mixes on the shit they do to it. But yeah, back to my point. We can wrap this one up or talking about it, but it's like, it was just funny. Like I never had a problem with anybody now, and like no one ever really judged me about it. But now I feel like nowadays I think it's even worse in school. Like I feel like there's like a status quo of like you have to wear these certain type of clothes and shoes to fit in with other people, and it's like. When we're in school, I don't ever feel like that was ever a problem. I don't know. I just get that from reading a lot of stuff online now and just talking to people.
But then let me just break this down then. You never had a problem because, I think all three of us generally were, pretty, just basic. But then you look at the kids that we went to school that, were wearing the weirder, shit from like Sears. But then that's where all the dragon shirts. I'm not trying
All the
to, like,
dragon shirts came
I'm
from
not trying to
Sears.
single out people. I'm not trying to say this to be mean, but it's just like, but it's true.
Your point
and it's
is
just
right.
like,
You're right.
but the
Point
point
is
is, it's just like they were ostracized, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
I
Well-
get it. It's
well,
like
no wonder
if you want to be a hot girl, you wear Victoria's Secret. If you wanted to be a guy that fit in with all the girls, you wore like fucking whatever, Lacoste or fucking Express or whatever it meant, whatever it is nowadays or whatever. And I get it. It just sucks that I I feel bad, like, you know, for kids that go nowadays that, like you said, they probably can't afford it, or probably
But
just
that's
don't
the
give a
thing
shit.
is, it's just like I think they kind of co-opted it, and it's just like they made the best out of a bad situation because it's just like I don't think anybody at the end of the day really wants to wear a shirt with a dragon on it. It's
A
just
button, a bowling dragon.
yeah, a bowling
t-shirt.
dragon shirt that you can only get from the fucking bull. I forgot because I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I grew up. I bought shit from Sears, like I had to, that's where I saw this shit, and so
I never cared about that shit.
But I remember making. I guess I was kind of a bully, but I remember making fun of plenty of dragon shirts.
Dragon Ball Z.
But no, in hindsight, just to finish my point before my relentless mumbling ends, is that yeah, dude? What if it was just circumstance? It's just like these are poor kids,
Right?
And it was just like their parents bought them that, and they.
I mean,
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I
I'll
mean,
shut
I
up.
think that is true though. It's a twofold or double-edged sword type of thing where some kids just didn't give a shit and they probably were like, I don't care, I'll get whatever, wear whatever, it doesn't bother me.
And if that's the fact, dude, kudos to them because it's like that was a very hard thing to do in high school. It's like high school is all about
self-consciousness
conformity.
is like, yeah, like
it really was, and it's just like because you had your bullies to keep the outliers in check.
right.
But like, you're right. There was groups, and it's like you had groups
I
of.
guess I took part in that a little bit. Sorry, keep going. Reed.
Oh, I'm just saying, like there were different groups, but I was cool with everybody. Like I wasn't cool just my group. Like, oh, we were the people that did this. Like we smoked pot or did whatever. It's like cool. No, we all hung out with everybody and
Dude,
did everything.
Rainey hung out with the T-Birds. He hung out with the Pink Ladies. He was on top of and inside.
I was on top of school
every
and society.
yeah, dude. Randy's life was like High School Musical back then.
It was. I used to be like Zac Efron with the sick flow and just walk down and girls would just pull my pants out.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's dancing up against the lockers while Randy's coming down.
I think I'm gonna fucking kill myself after high school. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to bring that up because I just thought that was interesting. I was reading something about it online, and I know we talked about it, and I just wanted to bring it back up because I don't think Matt got to hear us actually talk about it. But yeah, that was one of those.
Matt don't have to hear everything we say.
I mean, kind of, he does, but he really doesn't. He's the new guy on the cast, so
New guy.
he doesn't really know too much about what's going on in the dark.
Yeah, we keep him in the dark.
So this one's
It's
more off
dark
the
in
cuff.
here.
Oh, let him out for the cast.
Yeah. Did you guys see?
Like the Gimp and
I was thinking of the
Pulp
Gimp in
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Did you guys see that study that came out about how this is the first time in like 50 years like the people actually enrolling in like the Army or National Guard or like any type of service in the United States went down a bunch, and it's because the simple fact of because weed's being legalized, so they can't pass a drug test is one, and two.
I just figured it was the this new. It's so hard to talk about people because like they just blanket drop millennial on like 2-3 decades.
Well,
almost.
I was listening,
Right, yeah.
I was listening to a podcast, and the guy that was on there was like some general that's been in there for like 20 or 30 years, and he's been a big recruitment guy, and he said recruitment offices suck right now because, one, kids can't pass drug tests. Two, they can't pass the physical training test because kids, the kids that actually
They're
want to enroll,
chubby.
whatever, they're not in shape, and they want these kids better in shape to be able to run and do whatever that kind of stuff. And then three is because they're not athletic enough because they don't like these kids go. Now this is what he's stereotyping with. He's saying millennials are so driven off of technology and stuff like that. They don't get outside and do enough physical type stuff anymore. So when they actually have to roll, their like mind is blown of all the physical stuff.
Think
they
about
have to do.
believe
this.
that's
Think
true.
about this group of kids though. Is we took away PE from like a lot of them, right?
Really?
PE classes have been shut down all across
well,
the
because
country.
dodgeball make kids feel bad.
Shit
you
like
know?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so fucking stupid. Like, it really is. It's like being active and physical is like the best time in your life is when you're a kid because you don't get fatigued or tired like you do like when at our age.
Kids need to run around.
Dude, I wish I had that energy still. God, I would be doing like I'd be building houses every day or doing something with all that damn energy.
Right.
But yeah, like your point is, you're right. They have shut it down where kids. No, I still do think they still have like intramurals and stuff like that, but it's like more like if you want to take like a physical education class, it's like one of those things in high school you can take, but it's like it's not mandatory anymore to be part of it because so many kids are like, well, I don't want to do that.
But
Just fuck out.
back to your point though about like they were saying like because I was actually surprised if drug use is the number one reason because I just look at this new generation as like
Why is
it's the me generation, you know, it's all about me.
Why
It's
is-
like why would I want to go serve in the fucking army? Like what does that do for me?
Well, on the podcast, one of the guys was like, "Why would a lot of people even want to roll the army nowadays? Like, you guys are fighting for shit that doesn't even matter half the time, like oil."
Well,
and crap like that."
right now, currently, as of today, any like combat zone where U.S. troops are in, like there's not one that I support the troops. Let me just clarify here, but
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just like any like active combat right now that they're engaged in, it's just like I personally don't. Off the top of my head, I don't support any of it.
I don't either. I don't see there's any good. I mean, I get why we have it, and there's people that want to enlist and do all this stuff, and it's great. And I feel like if that's what they want to do, great. That's just not the kind of person I am. I don't think.
But no, imagine though. It's just like it's just like you want to join up. I mean, I guess it's better now than right before the Iraq War, but it's just
Right.
like there's people still dying.
Well, the person that on the podcast made it the best point is like, well, he's like, you do realize he's like, your generation is getting older and the new millennials are taking over. It's like weed's going to be legalized everywhere. It's going to be a common thing, just like drinking alcohol. It's like, why wouldn't you guys just now be proactive and be like, you can smoke weed in the army? Like it doesn't.
The
do anything to
government,
hinder you.
the government has a lot of catching up to do, but the government moves so slow because it's a bureaucracy.
It's like
See,
they're-
it's like, well, with states legalizing, the real point of contention is federal law.
Federal, just the scheduling.
Right, exactly. And so it would be a giant leap, like, I guess, like mentally and like progressively, I guess, for the army or the military, whatever, to make a stance saying,
Well-
you can smoke weed. This is
I don't see the big deal. It's like it's not killing anybody, and
Right.
they've proven enough stuff. It has a lot of good positives.
Oh,
for
for
And
people.
sure.
they're in
yeah.
the business of killing people.
Right, it's same people that have like what's it, with PTSD or whatever it is.
Yeah,
whatever, that helps out.
PTSD. Well, that's the thing is they come back and they've been doing. I heard this on Joe Rogan was talking to some guy who started this program to help. At least I think it was Joe Rogan, but it was like something with like THC therapy for soldiers that have PTSD, and
Yeah.
he said he's seen like fantastic results in it. And I didn't know this until the other day, but they're currently doing low dose ketamine trials.
I've heard this.
I've read it
Yeah.
too.
And then I think very shortly here they'll be doing MDMA trials, and then eventually down the line they'll be doing microdose psilocybin trials, but that's way farther away.
But anyway, I mean, the point, my thing is, it's like, well, they didn't like get gay people being in it now. Now gay
Right.
people are allowed in their role, and there's no big deal with it. It's like, well, they're going to start realizing that the numbers are going to keep plummeting because people want to smoke weed, But I don't see the huge ordeal with it. It's like alcohol kills way more people and is way more addictive a drug. They've already said it is. It's the gateway drug is alcohol. They've already proven it, and it's not weed anymore. It's
I
like-
believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, just because they're not making money off it or anything, and they still classify it as some.
Schedule 1 means there's no medicinal value to the substance, and actually all psychedelics are Schedule 1, which is weird because now they're trying to get back. Michael Pollan was saying in that Joe Rogan cast, he's just like we put the research on hold for 30 years,
Right.
and we're just starting it back up on like the hallucinogen trials for PTSD and like I think
Or
it
just
was-
other forms of depression and that
And,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just interesting listening to the guy talk about it, and he was so passionate about it, and I get it. It's like, that's what he likes to do and stuff, and he's all about the Army. But it's like, look, it's like people don't want to enlist the Army to go fight nowadays for shit that are not real causes. It's like, if there's a real cause to go fight, like when 9/11 happened, people are going to enlist and want to go help out. But it's like, right now, I don't see a real cause to go enlist unless you're really, that's what you want to do for your whole life. It's like, people just don't want to enroll in the role.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're grew up in a military school or a military family. Yeah, I mean,
Well, here's
I
another.
think it's the same thing. It's like
Well, here's another good fact about it too. It's like, look at all the poor people that come back from the Army. They're vets. They're living on the fucking street. They can't get jobs, and they have all these fucking problems with them, PTSD and like a fucking one leg and like.
it's because the support that they get is a farce. Everybody acts like they support the troops, and when push comes to shove, though, dude, when it comes down to mental illness, everybody looks the other way.
Well, right, because they don't want to waste the time on doing it. But it's like,
And it's so funny, dude. And I'll say this, and I don't want to politicize or dramatize this. I just want to say this, and you guys don't even have to respond. But it's just like I just think it's hilarious that the NFL is so focused on whether or not you can stand or kneel for the national anthem. But if I remember hearing correctly, they're done looking into the brain damage caused by professional football playing.
Yeah, that's because they know it's true and they don't want to get fucking messed up. But to your point, I'm going to rebuttal this. They're a private business. So literally, they can say whatever the fuck they want. You want to play for the NFL and make $20 million a year to throw a goddamn football? Guess what? Stand for the national anthem. Because guess what? There's fucking hundreds of people that probably would line up and take your damn job to go stand up for a national anthem, regardless.
Hell yeah.
If you don't want to sit, if you want to take a kneel in the locker room, or don't even play.
Well-
I'll go sit in the bench for $1 million and be your towel boy and stand for the national anthem if you don't want to stand for it, even if you don't believe in it or not. Like I said, private business. They can dictate what they
Private
want.
business that has to deal with the military. Keep that in mind. The military paid them after 9/11 to start
Right.
doing like more patriotic shit.
That's
Right.
true.
And so, I mean, with the close ties, it was only a matter of time. And and they didn't even consult the players' union because this was never going to be an argument. I guess they were just waiting for the season to be over, and then they, because it was decided by, on the owners' meeting, and. But yeah, dude, back to the point. It's like this isn't a freedom of speech issue. It's a private business.
Well, so like one thing that's always got me about that, it's like I don't want to politicize anything either, but they're kneeling for whatever issues they're behind, right?
And I get,
Right.
everybody gets,
But-
I think that everybody gets their point, right?
But it's like, okay, so you do have this platform where the whole world can see, right? But like, you're also a very powerful person, like monetarily. You probably have millions of dollars, that kind of thing. Like, why don't you go like,
do something good with it.
yeah, rather than just pout on TV, take action and really go back to your neighborhood and like, work with these kids that are
And my favorite
impoverished or what have you, that kind of thing.
When they do that kind of thing, I like it when they don't want recognition for it.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
those are genuinely good people.
There's
but
a couple.
it's just like if they want to make. I just hate when they make a big deal. Anybody make a big. Oh, I just made this big donation or whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
like,
that's the people that want to get their name out in the spotlight and be in the fame from it. The other people, but to your point, after that happened, there was like 2 or 3 football players. Remember, they brought it up on the news saying these guys went out, they donated a bunch of money to schools and did all the right stuff, or whatever. They did the right thing, or trying to make an improvement for it. But yeah, I'm not gonna make this political at all. But at the end of the day, it's like it's private business. It'd be like if my work told me that I had to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance every day, and they did it like at school. It's like, well, guess what? I'd have to do it because if they don't, they could fire me over it. Well, they can do the same thing in the NFL now. So it's like you work for them. If you don't want to work for them and make millions of dollars, God, go somewhere else.
Good luck.
Good luck. Because I
go
guarantee.
play arena football.
Exactly.
XFL.
They're bringing that back.
Vince
I
Vince
heard-
McMahon
I
is
heard
bringing
this,
back
yeah.
arena football.
I thought it was already brought back.
Or no, the XFL.
Or, yeah,
rather.
the XFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's always been a little shitty.
Yeah, arena footballs and Canadian football, which
I mean,
is weird
it might
ass
have been
fucking
shitty, but at
rules.
least we got Kurt Warner and he got us a Super Bowl from that, so we can't really hate on him that much.
Right. He was just like wasn't he
just
like
get
a
a scene
grocery
in the cup.
bagger?
Yeah, grocery
and like
bagger.
moonlighting as a quarterback in an
Yeah.
arena league.
Yeah, and then
A
they
year
found
later,
him.
he wins the Super Bowl.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, that was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Sam, because that actually really bothered me this weekend, and we were talking about that a lot. Because I don't follow sports like I used to when I was a kid. I used to watch ESPN a lot and follow the stuff. ESPN's dog trash now because all they do is play the stuff about LeBron and the Yankees or something like that.
LeBron has gone crazy this playoff, so
Yeah, I
must
mean, he
say.
has. I wanted him to lose last night because I wanted everybody to feel the pain. I still think MJ is better, and he'll always be my best basketball player. I don't care. But regardless, they played in 2 different eras. I'm not going to get down that debate at all.
It's
either.
not worth it. No,
It's not. It's retarded.
I have heard Michael Jordan's an asshole in real life.
Yeah,
I've heard that too. But he is a billionaire now. You know that, right? This year he became a billionaire.
Well, goddamn! I mean, he's been how many 20 years with the Hanes commercials.
Well,
like
it's not-
he
it's
talks
not-
about
Let alone Nike
and
Air.
It's his
a forever
Air Jordan.
Nike endorsement.
it's his shoes. That's right. It's Nike. You know, Nike literally makes like, I think I can't remember, but like 60 or 70% of their business is from Jordans. Like their most popular shoes, like
I
all their
believe that.
sales coming are all from Jordans coming in. So it's just crazy to hear something like that or stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, like I forgot what we were talking about.
Jordans. Michael
yeah,
Jordan being an
Jordans.
asshole. I kind of segued off of the conversation before. To
It is
call him
crazy
an
he's a
asshole.
billionaire, though. I just found that out, like, when I was reading up, because my owner of my company, he's a billionaire. He's, like, the richest black man in North America, and then underneath him is Oprah, and then a couple more down is Jordan. It's like, when the hell did Michael Jordan become a billionaire? And it's like, oh, off of his shoes. It makes sense.
Compound interest.
Yeah. But, yeah, what else is going on?
Oh, well, we're in Missouri, guys. I don't know if
It's a
there's
sick world
anybody-
out there.
Anybody outside of our two listeners outside? It's hotter than the Dickens, hotter than the blazes out, and it's like, and I can't believe it because it's Memorial Day and it's officially summer, and it's just like,
It's so hot
how
outside.
the fuck happened to spring, dude?
There
was no
never get a
spring.
We don't ever get a spring. I think with global warming, it's kind of just, there is no spring anymore.
I think it's. I've just got this bad feeling. This is how it's gonna be for the rest of.
I think we're going through a climate change, and I really believe all that kind of bullshit.
I
So-
mean, you can argue if it's man-made or not. I don't want to
I don't,
argue
think it's,
that.
I don't think it's man-made.
but-
I think
well,
maybe a little bit about it.
Let's
But
not get into it. But I mean,
get into it.
I'll agree with you that I do think global warming's real.
no, I agree. I think it is real. I think it's. I just noticed over the last 15, 20 years, it's the same thing. It's like every summer, it feels like it gets hotter earlier and it just gets hotter longer. And then there is no real winter. Like when we were kids, I remember we used to get like 4 to 5 inches of snow, and I go outside and it'd be up to my door. Now, I don't think in the last 10 years we had a snow like that. Maybe one time, maybe.
Yeah, like it was like January of 14. We had like a big snow.
I
It was
remember
it was
that.
when the polar vortex came down.
Yeah, that was
to the Midwest.
insane.
Yeah. But no, like the last 3 winters,
It's very mild.
very, very mild. I recall like smoking a cigarette outside of work. It was like almost December or November, or it was end of November, almost December, and there were still green leaves on the trees. Like, what does that tell you?
Well, that's
You know
what I'm
I
saying.
mean?
Is it's like I know it's bad, really, but at the end of the day, it's like I kind of like it because it's just like if we have this, if like that repeats this year when I reseed my grass, like Jesus Christ, it'll be growing until November. Like
Yep.
next year is going to be
till
insane.
Christmas.
Yeah, my yard
Dude,
next year.
I swear, I've kept track. Last 3 winters have been exactly like that.
Don't you have a farmer's almanac you never check?
I do,
But
and I never
There's
check
some guy
it.
at my work who's actually he's actually owns a farm. He's a farmer, and he said the farmer almanac has not been right for the last like 5 or 6 years. It's been way off. So
I thought that thing was solid always.
no, not what's going on lately because of what's going on. So yeah, you might want to look it up and check your almanac and get your facts straight there.
Yeah, that's why I don't read mine. I knew it was bullshit. No, but I have heard like
this bullshit. I'm gonna buy this.
like,
bullshit. I'm reading it.
I heard this specifically related to strawberries. Apparently, a lot are grown in Texas, and so the past couple of years, farmers have taken a risk to start growing crops in like early February, so they're out sooner. And thus far, it hasn't failed them. Like they essentially have like an extra harvest by how early
Well,
they're starting. Yeah.
I was wondering because we have that produce stand up the street from us.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
They were open selling fresh fucking produce for the season, and it was still. But I'm pretty sure before what was the last predicted frost, I believe, like was April 20th.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had produce since before that, so I was curious, like, what the fuck are they doing? So they're growing in a greenhouse somehow, or they have to be, which is weird though. But it's because it's like such a little, it just looks like such a little fruit stand. But are they really importing that shit from out of the state?
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
But then explain to me how we got fresh produce like while it was still cold. I guess it had to been grown inside.
It has to be.
Or maybe just a badass like outdoor insulated setup. I don't know.
Well, have you seen that place just down the street I know from the produce stand you're talking about. It
Yeah,
used
and then
to
you
be
go
the
further
big
down.
the big farm.
There's the big. Okay, so there's the one with the waterfall, and then you go down further, and there's the one with all the hoop houses.
Right. I'm wondering if it's like a setup like that. They're just growing through the winter.
Which I know I've seen plenty of videos on Canadian growers that grow outside. They just rig up. It's just amazing. Like they'll rig up little like hoop houses. It's a special kind of plastic you use for greenhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, there's motherfuckers up in Canada growing year round. Like it's crazy.
So I'm gonna bring up this so I get off the vegetable talk right now. But
Fuck you.
we'll go back to our bread and butter and talk about Solo that came out this week. I know we're talking about some movies
What's
and
there to
stuff.
talk about? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it was struggling to break 100 million, which is like really hard for a Star Wars movie not to do in the first week of box office.
Well, hold on, because this is the same week Deadpool 2 came out, right?
which, no, they came out the week before.
Deadpool 2 came out last week?
Yep.
No shit.
Yeah. So,
Are you sure about that?
I'm
and
positive.
Deadpool's been killing it
dude, it's been killing it.
hard.
Because where I was going with that was, Deadpool's taken.
I mean,
from Solo,
regardless, it's still making a bunch of money. But I've heard so many people that are just so upset by the movie, which I'm still gonna go see it and form my own opinion. We've already talked about this. I don't give a shit what people say anymore.
I think
want-
this looks like a cool action movie, not necessarily like a great Star Wars movie,
No,
but
I heard the acting's kind of subpar in the movie for a Star Wars movie, but I heard like the action's still
it's
good.
always been
Yeah.
subpar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that.
Okay,
Not all the
dude,
movies have.
Episode 1, 2, and 3. Well,
Those
yeah,
were-
well,
those
go
were
ahead
awesome.
And, yeah, tell me about the dialogue, and especially Anakin's dialogue in episodes 2 and 3.
Number
About
one,
sand.
I'd say I'm sorry, but
It's dry.
I like number one with
gritty.
Liam Neeson. I always like that one. That one's good with the pod
I'll always
racing. and all
love.
that
I'll always love episode 1,
shit. Episode 1 was great.
in spite of Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, pod
I
racing,
enjoyed
dude.
Jar Jar Binks.
I
as
did
a
too.
Kid.
I did too. I don't think it was that.
He was
terrible.
funny. It was a movie
Have
meant
you-
for kids,
and,
you
well,
know.
And have you seen that behind the scenes thing where they were talking about Jar Jar? And I forgot if it was George Lucas who said it or somebody else, but they were like, "This is either going to work really well or this is going to suck."
It was
shit."
George Lucas saying it's make or break with Jar Jar. The entire film is
Yeah.
make or break with Jar Jar.
Yeah, and
Either you took him serious or, as most people did,
Yeah. So here's my other point I wanted to bring up, Ritter. Fuck Jar Jar Binks.
got
right
a lot
now.
of points, man.
Well, good, because this is a podcast. I want to talk about actual things that are cool. My point was, I went to the movie theater. I went and saw
When I twist
Deadpool
them.
with my wife, and out of all the trailers, there was 2 trailers where it was just an all female oriented.
Randy, you never told me you had a wife.
Yeah, she's secret. I keep her locked up in the basement and bring her out on the weekends.
I'm sorry. Keep
So,
going.
And this isn't a backlash or out for anything to do with women, but I don't like how right now with the feminist movement and all the shit that's going on with all the PC bullshit, they feel like they have to make these all lead role fucking movies with women or like the main spotlight of stuff of women. Like Ocean 6 is coming out. It's not gonna do good, right? And the reason I say that is it's just like look at Ghostbusters, right? They did an all lead cast with all women, and they put what's his name? They put Thor in there from whatever, and the movie plummeted. And it's gonna be the same thing to do with this movie. Like you can't redo
Ocean's movie.
You can't redo the Ocean's movie they already had 3 of them with 13 guys in it, and they're all amazing actors. I'm sorry, but half the actresses in this movie, besides Sandra Bullock, I could give 2 shits about.
well, they made the same argument when the Ghostbusters movie was coming out. It was like, regardless of, it doesn't matter how good these females you're putting in their place are, you're trying to recreate something that's like unrecreatable. Like you can't rebottle like the lightning they had for the first Ghostbusters film. Like it's
No, you
it's
can't-
this
you
dry,
had Bill-
sarcastic movie about some blue collar dudes starting a pest control business.
Right,
You
you
know?
had Bill Murray and fucking Dan Aykroyd, like legendary comedian, great actors, and you have these trash can actors coming in and try to redo the movie. I'm sorry, half these women in the movie are trash can actresses, except Sandra Bullock, in my opinion.
I haven't seen who's all in The
I don't know.
all girls oceans
they, like-
movie.
I think Rihanna's one of them.
Yeah, Rihanna. Yeah, she can sing, she can act. The whole thing. If I can act, I can sing. Vice versa.
I just want to say, regardless of the all-female cast, I think this is just going to be a shitty remake movie.
It is.
that
Even though the
it's,
same director and the same stuff that did Oceans is going to do this, of course he is. Like they try to do like the funny like little pun things that like between like Brad Pitt and George Clooney would do. It was kind of like funny. I saw that in the trailer like with Sandra Bullock and then like, oh, he's going to do this. Like it's supposed to be funny or whatever. And it's like, no one's going to fucking laugh at that. Maybe some people that are really, really into this.
Our
type of
moms
movies.
might
Right.
laugh.
Yeah, the Moms movie or whatever. But it's like, I don't like that they're pushing these kind of movies because they've already got feedback from literally half the population that these are not the kind of movies that sell and they don't like these kind of movies. It's like, now if it was a mixture of men and women, like it was Danny Ocean and all them and his sister was brought in doing all this stuff, it'd probably be a lot better, because they still had his wife who helped out, right, in the movie with, what was her name? I can't think of her name at the moment, whatever, the actress that was in Oceans, the original ones.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, whatever. So they still had a woman in there that helped out. Like the first one she didn't do, but the second, third she did. They don't have a men. Maybe they have a men in this one or
But-
whatever. But the point is, I just don't think it's a good movie to remake.
I'm not saying shit.
I think
I
it's
want to
just-
keep my job.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
It's so
It has nothing to do
overtly.
with women or anything like that. It just has to do with the simple
Okay,
fact
woman
that.
hater.
Yeah, okay.
I'm joking. Well, it has something to do. Sorry, it has something to do with the simple fact of what?
The simple fact that I like good movies and I just don't like them putting out these trash can movies just to make another movie. Like, oh,
I feel like it's a disservice actually to some of those female actresses. That's all. That's all.
let's
I'll
put.
say.
Let's put Oceans in front of it and then make it. Oh, these are all his sisters or his people. It's like, no, like, come on. How can you
Call
redo
it something else, like the Italian Job. It was
Yeah.
like that was a good movie.
That was a great
It just
movie.
Like, but it's like so similar to How Many, and you had Charlize Theron.
Smoking hot?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is it's just
still
like,
is.
people of color or women or whatever. It's like, dude, like, why not just? It's like instead of remaking or rehashing, like let's say the Flash or whoever superhero into a black guy or a woman, Thor or something. It's like, why? Here's a crazy idea to all the creators out there. It's like make new shit.
Make
Yeah.
new shit.
That's
What-
it, dude.
what is
Like,
so
I
hard
love
about-
new content.
So do
And
I.
it's just like, dude, it's just like, don't get me wrong. It's like, dude, you throw something new together with like Idris Elba, and it's just like, and I swear to God, dude, it would like succeed. And I don't know.
It just bothers
I-
me that it's because of the whole PC gender culture bullshit that they say there's not enough women in movies. there's not
Include
enough-
everyone.
Right. Every movie now.
It's the heavy-handed approach they're going with. It's-
Right, but because of the liberal movement and becoming from Hollywood and it's all the liberal PC bullshit that's out there right now, they have everything. You always have gays in every movie. They're going to have to start having transgender people in every movie. They're going to have black people. They're going to have Asian people. They're going to have every type of ethnic group in there. And you've seen it in Star Wars. You've seen it in all kinds of movies. And that doesn't bother me. Just make a good fucking movie.
Right.
That's all I'm asking. Like, I don't care about all that other bullshit.
It don't matter who's in it.
Why do they have to bring the politics into this stuff to make it seem like it was some forced thing? Like, oh my God, now if you don't have these many people in this movie, we're going to get sued by the NAACP or some women's right group because there wasn't enough women in the movie or whatever.
X-Men got out ahead of the curve. They made sure they had a guy in a wheelchair from the start.
Right, Actually, in Deadpool, it's actually kind of funny because I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Don't say
But,
anything.
Yeah, it's good. The new one, of course. But yeah, that's my point. I just didn't like that, and I feel like it keeps continuing to happen, and it's like, well, here's another movie that's going to plummet and bomb. It's just like that movie they just made not too long ago with the lead actress that everyone thinks is really funny. I can't remember.
Amy Schumer?
No, not Amy Schumer. The other girl that was in like some wedding movie. She's got a lead role right now as a comedian, and I think she's garbage as well. Not because she's a woman. I think
Kristen Wiig?
maybe her or whatever.
Oh, she's not garbage. She's good.
I think she's garbage.
I like her.
So, well, you like garbage. You're a trash can, so garbage in,
I
garbage
like
out.
avant-garbage.
But anyway, point is, I get why they have it. She's like the new Kevin Hart of movies or whatever. So she'll be put in all the movies to be the funny fat woman that's in the movies now.
Oh, is that
whatever.
Melissa McCarthy you were talking about? Because she's fat.
I don't know her name. I don't even care. I just noticed she's in all kinds of
But
movies
she's
now.
chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably her.
Plus size me.
Plus,
Whatever.
use right pronouns on this podcast.
2018. Call her Mrs.
Well, so that's my whole issue with like everything we've just been talking about is like, everything is for the purpose of like this inclusion or, you know, like, let's remake it for the girls. Let's remake it for the blacks. Let's remake it for the Chinese, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, dude, like,
it is Melissa McCarthy. And that's who I don't like.
yeah.
make new stuff. God damn it! Don't I'm not. I can't be the only person in the world that loves new content.
No, I
you're
love
not.
new
It's
content.
just like, and they want to just keep rehashing shit. It's
just
getting
like,
old.
It's just like one of our last podcasts we talked about Overboard. It's like you can't redo that movie. Why are they redoing the movie?
But yeah, dude, like, why would they even think of redoing that? That's like,
It's like the audience they're targeting who has heard of or seen Overboard.
I swear
You know,
to
like-
God, if they ever redo Roadhouse, like,
They already did.
They're with Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey's in it, and it's trash can. No, there's no
my
trash can.
God.
See, I don't know if it has
I
come
think-
out, but their intent was to remake it.
I think I heard that, and I internalized it, and I just thought of it, thinking it was an original thought. But God damn,
real
that's
original,
horrible.
Sam.
God,
It's. I think, like you said, they're just pushing content to try to make money, and the real thing is you just can't. It just doesn't work that way anymore. As much as I like it to.
well, I mean, look, if I could just branch off right
it
now,
hasn't came out yet,
and talk
but I knew they were
about-
working on it.
See,
so.
I think they may have like started cutting bits of it because Ronda Rousey lost all her star power when she got knocked out.
Yeah,
And
there's-
I would argue, dude, that whole thing, it was about getting back up on the horse. It was just like, you know, like she just needed. It's like you got your ass handed to you. So go back to the gym and start working.
It ruined
out.
her.
She's
It
in-
ruined her.
Did.
She-
She mentally couldn't get over it.
She's
I
in
guess.
WWE now. She don't need to. So when I watched Joe Rogan enough to listen to this. She set the new era of way for women to fight in UFC, which was great, right? She opened it up. She was an exciting person. Her and Conor McGregor, biggest stars probably ever will be for a long time in the UFC. After she got beat twice, they found out, well, guess what? She is beatable and brought a new era of women in to come fight or do whatever. She paged away. She made a bunch of money. Guess what? Now she's in WWE making more fucking money. So she's got a career now. She's actually acting and doing stuff, which makes sense. She can do that kind of stuff, right? Perfect place for her to go and do that kind of stuff. Same thing with Conor McGregor. Once he's done, he put a new era of way for doing stuff, whatever, put UFC on the map because, boxing is
Yeah,
dead.
throwing chairs into.
It was a dolly.
It was the dollar.
But it actually cut somebody's face, which is why it
Good
was so
God.
terrible.
Yeah, 3 fights were removed from that card because
He's
of
an
that.
idiot. I mean, that was so dumb for him
Yeah,
to
that
do
was.
it.
Well, I just don't like how, from my understanding, he's still holding a belt. He's
He'll-
been holding a belt for over a year now, and it's just like,
I think they have an interim champ though.
He lost one of his belts. He gave him one of them up because he didn't want to fight it anymore.
but point being is, it's just like you're being a fucking belt hog. It's like let these people like
Belt hog.
make their living do the, like going for that prize is all I'm saying,
Right,
and this
right.
asshole's just sitting on it because he doesn't want to fight.
Well, that's what.
No, it's not him sitting on it. It's the owner, Dana White, saying we're not going to lose him because he brings in millions and millions of dollars. No one else does that. So, to his point, I understand why he's letting people.
yeah, but that's not right.
Well, it's not, but he hasn't found anybody that's worth fighting yet, so they haven't brought it up yet. He's still waiting for Floyd Mayweather to come in so they can make another $1 billion fight.
That sounds like bullshit. I know that there's people ready, I guarantee right now, ready to challenge him for that fucking belt.
No, I'm sure, but I'm sure Dana White's not allowing it. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I got you.
Yeah. So he wants the big bucks because whatever. They're trying to actually bring one of the fights over to Ireland, like the main title fights, because there's so many people that bleed Conor McGregor over there. Like
Yeah.
literally, they'll fly over 10,000 people from Ireland to come watch a fight in Vegas or whatever just for him. Then he don't even ask them; they just do it on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how crazy they are over there for him. So,
Well, he's always showed love for Ireland.
yeah, the way he talks and shit.
He carries the Irish flag.
I know.
Oh,
He's clearly Irish when he
it is
speaks.
crazy though how he.
What is the word?
You know he was a
facetious.
Yeah.
Do you know he was a plumber before he even got in the UFC, right? Like he was fighting, but he was a plumber and he used to go around and fix people's houses.
That's my fucking point. Is just like these are regular people that need to make money, dude, and he's gumming up the works.
Right? Yeah, it is cool. I'd like to see him there fight again, but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know if he's ever gonna fight for a long time, dude, because of the way whatever happened. But yeah,
Yeah, there's gonna be some backlash from that
definitely.
because like he pretty much he fucked up that card really bad.
Well, because now he's in jail, or he can go to jail, but he's probably paying off all those people and all that kind of crap.
Well, it's
and
like,
stuff.
yeah, it's like you cut my eye. I missed my main event fight.
Yep.
Like you just cost me. I don't know what they were going to get paid. Maybe $1 million,
Have you
maybe
seen, like,
more.
They should have punished Connor and
Yeah.
made him pay out to all those lost.
He did.
To all those lost fights.
Um,
Those purses.
Did you
do
see-
they call them purses? In the
Yeah, I think they call 'em
They
like
don't
that.
carry purses. No, they're manly men.
They call
Okay.
them man gender purses. Did
A
you guys
messenger bag.
messenger bag? They call them a goodie bag. Did you guys see that on YouTube now? They keep advertising that, and even on fucking movie channels or whatever, they keep advertising the privacy filter thing now with Facebook because they got sued. Remember that whole thing? They got their information got leaked, and Facebook are like deleted. The company never deleted it, and then it still got hacked again, and got their information got stolen, like over 500,000 people or whatever. And now they actually made a thing where it's like they're banning fake news, fake accounts, all this kind of crap to make sure people's privacy stays clean, that no one can filter that kind of stuff anymore. It's like, it took this long for Mark Zuckerberg and all those people to figure this out. Like, why didn't they do this 2 years ago?
They were getting paid
That's what I was thinking
for
too.
giving away info.
To link info for.
Dude, I'm sure they were making a killing off that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I don't know how much they're making off, but it was just funny. I mean, to see Mark Zuckerberg live. Did you guys watch that? Thing?
I watched some of it. Yeah, to me it was kind of boring.
It was boring, but it was
But-
just funny. Like some of the questions they asked him, he like acted like he was dumb, like he had no idea what was going on. It's like, dude, you're the owner of the company. You know everything that's going on. You make all the moves. It's like you're Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, look at who he was talking to. Majority of those people had no fucking clue what he was saying anyways. They're all dinosaurs in Congress.
I would agree with that. But it was just funny seeing that kind of shit and stuff on there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't use Facebook that much anymore. I kind of hate Facebook. I literally wish it would just die off. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's going to be around forever. I just can't wait to see what the next big thing that comes out besides Facebook. That's what I keep wondering. What's going to come out for social wise? Like, what is the next big thing for the internet? It's like we have phones. We have social media, that these outlets. It's like, what is going to be the next thing that's going to wow everybody? It's going to push it to the next limit. I don't think anybody's seen anything yet, but I think it's going to happen here in the next 5 to 10 years.
Quantum computing and
AI.
distributed ledgers.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could see that. You know, do you have anything like, any concrete anybody's working on or doing, or just more of like hearsay?
I would have to dig up the crypto projects, but they're currently building out a lot. I know crypto's been shit lately, but I mean, it's a new market, and there's so much infrastructure being built out right now that I swear by 2020, like, it's going to be a mainstay. I think it's just going to be, you know how like stocks have the tech sector?
Yep.
I think eventually, like, it's going to be looking very similar to something like
Where
that.
it's like it bubbles burst on repeat forever.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think about the trophy hunting laws that keep getting passed by fucking Trump? I'm sorry, I'm not a huge hunter. I don't care if you hunt for deer and all that kind of stuff.
Well, my take on it
I just don't like
is
them-
I've always considered,
I think trophy hunting's sick. I think people that do that kind of shit are fucking retarded. Especially if the animals are endangered.
Well, okay, so with the big game stuff, because this is how it works, is you go and you buy an expensive-ass permit, which gets donated to yada, 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 and then you get to go and just kill, like, an old lion or an old giraffe or whatever.
Fuck that. I hate
Or an old elephant. And it's just like, I don't know, and you pay buku bucks, and it's just like, I don't think there's any, that's not real hunting.
What's enjoyment out of killing a fucking giraffe or like a lion or something?
Well, see, like with real hunting, like we do here in Missouri, when you're hunting, and like because there's a little
If
bit
you're
of
gonna actually
tracking, there's
eat them-
patience. It depends. Like
If
so
you're
you're
actually
deer
eat-
hunting
yeah.
or turkey hunting, you're sitting, you're waiting, but it's just like, dude, like literally with that shit over in Africa,
They drive you to a
they
preserve.
literally
and,
just
yeah.
drive you up to the goddamn animal and you shoot it, and then you get to pose with it, and it's just like, but you just spent like $1 million to do that.
Cool. Let's go kill an elephant that's endangered. You know, like 20, 30 years ago, there was like, because I watch a lot of Animal Planet or whatever. I like animals. I'm just the kind of person I am. I fucking hate people that kill animals for whatever. You, Matt, over there. I don't care if you're going to kill like deer or like turkey and you're going to actually eat it and actually like do that kind of stuff. I just don't people like going to kill a fucking like you said, a lion or a fucking tiger
or an
something.
elephant to like take the tails of the
Right.
trophy. Like what the fuck?
I don't care about regular
Or-
hunting. That don't bother me. It's just this shit. It's like he just passed something in Alaska to kill like polar bears and shit. It's like, you fucking stupid. Like polar bears don't even fucking like, they're like very scarce
At this
now.
point, actually, it might be doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them before all the ice is gone, because they're.
It's kind of
As it
heartbreaking
goes
when you
on,
hear,
yeah, dude. If you've seen the pictures of like some of the skinny ass polar bears,
or when they swim themselves to death,
Yeah.
trying to find a
Yeah.
patch of ice to climb on.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me sad.
it does. That's
We can-
I almost. It's
but
like,
the-
dude, just put them out of
They
their misery.
they could rescue half these ones. They just don't let them. It's like, why don't you spend the money on going to rescue these animals and keep them in captivity, like in a zoo or something? At least they can have ice, like we do at the St. Louis Zoo. You know, they have
Well,
the
I
polar
mean-
bears there that live there and get to chill. Why can't we fucking do it with some more of them?
The government budget makes no fucking sense, and I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican in power. It's always some bullshit.
It's like, you know, let's go spend money on some more useless shit. Let's go spend millions of dollars on fighting the war against people smoking marijuana, or we could spend it on actually saving some fucking animals that need to live. It just bothers me that he's only doing the trophy hunting shit for his goddamn sons because they're big fat pussies and they don't have to do anything, you know.
I just, the nepotism's real. It's just like, I just think it's hilarious that here we are in 2018, and it's just like, like this was the what was the very corrupt, was it Tammany Hall? What was the very corrupt White House where
Yep.
they were just giving out jobs to like friends and family?
Right.
And it's just like, here we are, 2018, and Trump gives his daughter and Jared Kushner like jobs, and it's just like,
Well, I mean, that's expected.
no, it's not. It's
You don't
not.
you don't think it is?
I don't think it's
Well,
appropriate.
I don't think it's appropriate, but go to any real business. I mean, literally, I could say my business. or
Well,
your
have
business,
her go
BJC.
back and run the goddamn Trump businesses, but she has no business doing anything political, in my opinion.
I don't think anything.
Okay, let me rephrase that. As much as Chelsea Clinton did, that's the line that I would give her.
I'm just
Which-
thinking the line from Rush Hour. Who you got, Chelsea Clinton?
But I mean,
All I'm saying is having her go sit with fucking foreign leaders. Like, it's like, that's a fucking joke. That's nepotism. And that's like, I
Well,
don't care who you are.
So
nepotism lives in every business, though. That's the way it goes. No matter if it's politics or
But
corporate
it's not
world.
supposed to be
to,
that way.
to
in
that point though,
politics.
have you noticed how we're kind of like in this like hell world when it comes to politics? Like
Yeah.
everything's a fucking joke at
No,
this
like,
point.
there is no accountability anymore.
Literally, it's like
Congress gets together and they jerk each other out. They don't pass anything. They get paid money to do nothing.
That's what I mean. It's like I don't disagree with you like about like Trump letting his son-in-law and his daughter run shit in the White House. That's fucked up. But like, are you really surprised though with
No.
with this particular political climate? Like,
No.
it's fucking
No,
wacky, dude.
I want to sit here and act all shocked and surprised,
But you
deep
shouldn't
down,
be. You shouldn't
well, I'm
be.
not. I should even act like it because I know that it's fucking 2018, dude. Like that's gonna be my quote for the rest of the goddamn year because it's like this
Until it's
has been
2019.
a fucking what a year. And it's like we're not even halfway through it.
I mean, are you surprised by a lot of the shit that even happens nowadays? It's like when they come out and say about it, it's like, oh, big surprise. It's like, no, people have known this forever. It's just now it's finally coming out as truth. You know
It's
what
like,
I'm saying?
We're like living in hyper America. It's like we're living double Mountain Dew. Like seriously, no, how to put that in word? Like seriously, like school shooting every day. Like or the leader of the free world saying something goddamn just ridiculously stupid, or you name it, dude. It's just crazy.
I
It's
agree.
it's a little hilarious to me. Just the whole
Well,
thing.
the school shooting stuff isn't hilarious.
Well, no, not.
But
Let me retract the school shootings. That's not funny, but
you know what I'm getting at? America on steroids. It's
yeah,
just like
just the current state,
right.
Is it's hilarious.
It's just
We're-
like, dude, seriously, a couple more school shootings within the next few weeks, and it's just gonna be like, dude, like,
No,
yeah,
it's
no,
normal.
it will be almost laughable.
Well, it's like
what the fuck?
well, now that we've had so many, it's like, well, it's time to put metal detectors in school. I hate to say it, but it's like just
Every
fucking,
school needs
just
one,
fucking
pretty
do it.
much.
Staff it up with a police officer. Every school metal detectors, and kids have to walk through it.
Well, look at
That's what we have
that
to go-
one coward ass resource officer
That wouldn't
one
go in.
shooting, Wouldn't go in. He actually ran the other way. after they found out, because at first
Yeah.
everybody was trying to say, "Oh, you're a hero just because you're a cop," and it was just like, nope. Found out he was a big pussy and let kids die, and it's just like wouldn't even put himself in danger.
It's like he didn't have an AR in his car, plus a vest,
He didn't have a
plus a
vest.
helmet
Right,
to pull out of the
right,
trunk or
right.
something.
Right. So, I mean, we can get off that subject, whatever. I know that we can go down a rabbit hole talking about all that stuff, but another thing I wanted to bring up, too, was something I read on, or watched on a podcast. I brought this up to you, Sam, last week. We kind of talked about it. Of course, we don't talk about it with Matt, like I said earlier, because Matt's retarded.
I like to leave him out as much as possible.
Me, too.
Right here, guys.
Hey, I think me and Marini need some refills. So
Yeah, coffee boy, can you give me some more coffee?
take your time, lock the door on your way out.
Oh, you guys want?
We got to get some alone time and
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, you weirdo. I wanted to talk about how it was Joe Rogan, of course, because I listened to his podcast a lot. He talked about how celebrities in general can't go anywhere in public nowadays without being ridiculed, even if they're the best person in the world to give like time out of their day to talk to people. And an example he gave was, went and did a stand-up comedy show somewhere, and after the show, he spent about 2 hours talking to all of his fans, like going around for like 5-10 minutes talking to everybody, saying, thanks for coming out here, blah blah blah. Like, a lot of people do. They show appreciation. They spend
Thanks
money
for
and time.
listening to my stand-up. I know it's shit, but thanks for sitting through
But they
all
like
of
his
it.
personality and they like Joe Rogan as a person or whatever, right? So he talked about how after he did that, the next day, him and his friends were going out in public, and his friends were like, "Come on, Joe! Like you're always sitting there for 30 minutes talking and giving people." Well, they finally sit down for lunch, and the minute he sits down for lunch, some asshole comes over and he's chewing some food in his mouth, or whatever, and asks him, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you and talk to you?" And he's like, "Look, man, I'm eating. Like I just sat down. Come find me in like an hour or something, whatever. If I'm still here, and you can ask for one when I'm done eating." The guy got all pissed, and he's like, that's what happens nowadays. He's like, you could be nice to 99 people out of 100, and the first person you're not nice to, fuck Joe Rogan or fuck this celebrity, and they're a piece of shit because they didn't give me 5 seconds to take a selfie. And it's like, the world we live in nowadays, it's kind of sick and twisted that people get like this self-gratification where they feel the need to like, I gotta go get this picture of this celebrity real quick and post it on Facebook to get all this, I guess gratification or like
Cult of celebrity. It's been around since early 2000s, ever since the magazine started snapping like nip slips and vag slips from like Paris Hilton and shit,
Yeah.
and Britney Spears. Like,
But-
I feel like that's when the real issues started with the celebrity worship.
I agree, and I think the whole thing comes down to is like we have this sick obsession with social media and like getting all that. What's that word I'm trying to look for? We get like a high off of posting something about a celebrity, like who I ran into today, regardless if you talk to them or not, just to be like, look who and everyone's like, oh yeah, great, you can see this person, whatever. And I get why people do it, but it's like they're human beings too. They shit too. They do all the same stuff we do. It's like they're not some fucking like.
Well, think about this, because this is kind of funny. Think about every picture you've seen where a fan, met that like a celeb in public and they got a selfie. Compared to like con selfies where they're just like they're getting paid for the picture and they're smiling shit, whereas like I've seen plenty of on the street selfies with celebrities where they look pissed off. I mean, there's always going to be the ones where they'll put the smile on at least or whatever, but then like I'm sure after the picture's done it's just like, okay, now leave me the fuck alone.
Well, I
Right.
mean, put it this way: it's like you go outside today. You live in California or whoever. You live in New York, Chicago, and you're gonna walk down and get some goddamn groceries for your wife or something today because you don't feel like making your butler or whatever the fuck you do. Or maybe
All
you don't have
right,
one.
so all I'm going to say, because I know where you're going,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to cut you off, but it's just like, dude, same thing. It's just like, look, dude, if you can't handle it, then I'm sorry. You should have never been a celebrity. If same thing. Like, if you stand for the national anthem in the NFL because it's private business, it's just what it is. And it's just like, that's why I feel very little sympathy for celebrities. It's like, you're making millions of dollars, and it's just like, even the people snapping those pictures of you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars because people all over the country want to know about what the fuck you're doing. I'm sorry that you're getting accosted when you're going out in public, and I'm sorry if you got kids and you do the whole thing like Matthew Broderick and Jessica Horseface, whatever her name was. But it's just like, I'm sorry that I personally look at that as like part of the turf, part of the game. Is like, you get the perks. you're already rich and you go to those fucking fancy schmancy get-togethers with like $1,000 like gift bags, and it's just like, and you're the kind of people that can afford all the shit in the bag, but they're giving you all that shit for free. Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker. I just remember there was a paparazzi photo from years ago where they were like wigging out, like Matt was like trying to throw his jacket over their kids, like it's like whatever the fuck. When it was just like, you know.
But his point was valid, and he said he's like.
It is. They're human. Don't get me wrong. But all I'm saying is, it's just like, sorry that I don't feel sorry for the millionaire because they can't get down the street without an adoring fan accosting them for a
but
picture.
put it this way, he said he's like he don't mind all the other stuff, or whatever, and most people don't. It's when like he's like I'm sitting at lunch and like I'm feeding my
And there's
kid.
and the asshole comes up and there's the expectation,
Right.
that it's just like, hey, you're a celebrity, you're gonna sing and dance for me right now, like that's not acceptable.
Well, he said he's like I was putting food in my kid's mouth and like, can I get a selfie? And he's like, fuck off, like I'm feeding my kid right now.
I'll draw a line there, but yeah, like, but otherwise it's like no sympathy for these rich celebrities.
But it's
in
like,
Hollywood. They wanted to get famous.
I do think it's interesting though that like these people's goal is to get like a prized selfie with their favorite celebrity or what have you, but it's like it's further at the end of the day for their own personal gain.
But if they're not a prize, let's just say it's not even a celebrity that you actually like. It's just people running up to get the gratification, get a picture. Sorry to cut you off, but I feel like more nowadays, just because we have phones and we live on everything that has to do with yourself and your phone with your social media bullshit. It's like if I saw fucking Sarah Horseface walking on the street, I would never run up to her and be like, oh, I gotta get a selfie or whatever. But some other person that probably saw her one time in a movie or whatever, would be like, oh my God, I have to go get a picture of this person. It's like, no, I don't feel the need to do that kind of shit. It depends.
I got a feeling you'd probably do a good Aziz impression.
Probably. But go
Work
back,
on that.
whatever you're talking about, man, go ahead and go back and talk about that.
Yeah,
I hope you remember
it's-
after that spiel,
Right, it was
that
quite the
Glockenspiel out of Brandy.
but no, it's just like the whole social media thing.
Can you please make that the picture on this podcast?
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's great. But yeah, so anyway, like people are only concerned with like their image. Like, look at all these cool things I do. Look at all these like nice looking meals I eat.
I went
Like-
to Egg Slut for breakfast. Look at my sandwich.
Right, because like I recall like one of the last concerts I went to was a Perfect Circle, and practically like everyone I could see was not watching the concert. They were watching themselves film the concert.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's huge now.
And it's like,
Look at me. I got a Snapchat. I got to put it on Twitter. I mean, who gives a shit? Like, and to your point, Joe Rogan actually brought this up. He's like, 20 years ago, we didn't have phones. He's like, what happened to the generation of people that just went places to go enjoy something, like go to a baseball game? You're not there taking selfies. You're actually watching the baseball game. Go to a concert. You're actually there to watch the band and not sit there and be like, look at me. Look at the cool shit I'm doing.
To play devil's advocate, though, I would argue that it's probably like, you think you're capturing that moment because it's like special to you, because how often do you get to see like your favorite band or something? And I know it sounds stupid. It's just like they really should put a band on phones. You should just live in that moment. Because I only started doing that with concerts recently, because like for years I'd been that guy too. It's because it's like, oh, I don't ever want to forget this. But then it's like, well, when that phone dies and I lost it, it's like, well, it was shitty footage anyway from phones from years ago.
But
so it didn't even matter.
You're right.
But,
it is kind of a double
that's all I'm
situation.
saying. So my happy medium I found is, it's like when they start playing a song I like I'll record the intro and I'll record up to the first chorus, and or like go through the first go through the first
Voris in
verses and then
in
chorus. Shut up. And then
Boris?
and then I put the phone down.
Boris.
Because I went to that concert with you, and I remember
Yeah.
it was just like, it's like I thought about like, how I used to just go get fucked up at concerts and don't remember them and shit. And it was just like, no, it was like I really
That's every day
enjoyed
weekend.
a sober concert, and it's just like I still remember that, moments from that night. They're fleeting, but it's like I don't know. I'm glad to have been there, you know, in that night in the moment,
Right.
instead of like being one of those people that it's just like, because how often do you think those people really go back and watch their footage?
Probably
Probably
not as
never.
much.
When I was recording band footage on my shittier phone years ago, I never went back and watched it. I just had it.
But to your point, I get it. Like I take pictures. I'm not gonna say I'm not guilty of it. I take pictures and post on stuff that are like memorable, like I'm on vacation or doing stuff or whatever.
Well, vacation's way different than a
Yeah.
concert.
But
Yeah.
I don't, you know, and maybe I will take a picture or someone asks like, hey, are you at the concert? You want to see something, whatever. But I'm not one of those people that like I have to glorify all day long. Like I have to have a story where like I have 40 pictures of like what I did all day. Like I woke up, here picture of my coffee, and then I went outside and cut the grass, and then I went to the gym, and then I took a shit, and then I ate some more dinner, and like, you know, it was like I don't give a fuck. Like most people don't give a shit about that stuff, but some people they have a sick obsession, and it really
Like
is
all
a
about
disease.
it, yeah.
I forget the disease name, what it is called nowadays, but there's people who actually have a problem with not just social media, but their phone in general, where they have to be on there all the time, engaged with what everybody's doing. It's like that's not a way to live, man. That's just me. I just think it's over the top. I know this kind of went off down course from taking a selfie with a celebrity, but I don't know. I feel like that our generation, the people that are growing up now, are just having more and more issues with like getting away from their devices. Like they just can't go outside and enjoy a nice day. Like how many people actually nowadays are millennials actually like, I'm gonna go on a hike and go
This
do
is-
Right.
something, enjoy
This is the
it.
beginning of the Molman. They're gonna stay inside and start losing, you know,
Well,
start getting allergic to the sun.
it's
and
funny-
then start burrowing down.
That
really hope
you know, this
that's
whole
never
social
true.
media thing, it is so isolating in a way, right? Like
Well, the studies done on social media have shown that they make you feel worse.
because it's like
Well, the
you know,
depression-
better.
you know, you're
That's a good point. I'm bringing it up.
you're you know, doing shit within this like big network group of people, right? But like none of it's real. It's
Boris.
all an obfuscation of like
Valorous.
the real life and whatnot. So like I don't know. I feel like it's just like very isolating.
But to Sam's point, though, like what he said, it really is. There is a study that's been done that if you're one of those people that obsessively go on social media, look at other people's stuff, and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm having a great day, my life's beautiful and great. It makes you actually hate your life more and be like, man, my life sucks. Look at these people, they're posting stuff, they're having good all the time. But the problem is the people that are actually doing all that kind of stuff are actually the depressed people that actually have to get 1,000 likes every day to make them feel like actually important or people
Yeah.
actually enjoy them. Like
Without
just-
that gratification, they're not like
Right. You get your endorphins going, you get a high off it, and it's kind of like a drug to them where they have to get this. And like, you could be the most beautiful person in the world, but if you don't get your 100 likes today on Instagram or whatever it is, they don't feel important or, you know, whatever is going on nowadays. But to your point, that's actually led to people having more depression and more problems because of people doing that kind of stuff. So, and then people that actually get off social media, that don't stay on it all the time or whatever, they don't have those problems because they're not engaged with all this fake bullshit that they put on there, all the other propaganda.
Well,
stuff.
isn't there? I don't know if it's from academia, but isn't there like an argument regarding this? Like, as far as like, okay, so Matt was saying, it's just like, you know, you feel more isolated with social media when it's like in reality, it's like, well, not in reality, but it's just like, but shouldn't you be feeling more connected?
that's what I mean because you're interacting with this whole big group
Right.
network, if you will.
But you're still isolated by yourself.
Right.
And it's such a weird. I could have sworn it was a debate.
Well, because it's like if you go to like the mall or something, you're gonna see like tons of people with their face in their phones. You
But
know,
that's
like,
anywhere. You can't go
Right,
anywhere.
right.
You can't go to the doctor's office. You can't go to the fucking work or do everything without seeing. I could look around my office and see 40 people on their phone all the time when they're supposed to be working or whatever, checking in, looking at shit, you know, whatever. Maybe they're taking downtime, whatever. And I'm guilty of it too. It's like I don't go take a smoke break. So when I want 15 minutes to go look at something, I'll get on my phone and catch up with you guys or text on do stuff, whatever. But it's like some people, they just can't get off their phone.
Well, I think in some situations it's almost like a safety blanket, or it's like a comforting thing. Like, you know, it's just
like least common denominator.
Well,
you can always
I
pull
know,
the phone out.
Because
and-
yeah, dude, just
You
from
look
having
normal
a phone
if
for
you're on
years,
it
it's
doing-
like
Here's a funny example. I can prove your point, whatever you're saying right now with the comfort thing or whatever. And if you're comfortable in the situation, is next time you're at work and you're going down a long ass hallway and it might be like some girl or someone walking by from work you don't know. Instead of being like, hey, how you doing? Like the normal like stuff that people most say most people in that situation pull out their phone, and just pass right by them because they don't want to talk or interact with those people. I'm guilty of it. I've done it a bunch of times. Those are the type of situations where like the phone stuff comes in and be like convenient, like, oh, I'm busy, I'm not paying attention to you, whatever. In reality, is like I just want the awkward conversation of talking to someone or doing something. That's one of the examples that you could put out.
Because
With
I
the
mean,
phone
look at
nowadays.
dude, it's the ultimate defense against awkward conversations or reaching out, depending on where you're at, or just reaching out to new people. Because say like look, I got anxiety, and I know it's hard for me sometimes to talk to new people, but but think about it, like that was life before phones. Like those waiting, like think about a waiting room for anything. Is
They had
people
magazine-
waiting around, they
you-
had magazines, and I'm sure that people used to. Well, we live in the Midwest, so we have no problem chatting up strangers. I guarantee, like those doctors' offices before full of people just chatting with each other.
I did the last 2 times I've been to my dentist, right? Because he always has got magazines out there. I'm sure people still use magazines at their doctor's office or whatever it is. The last time I've been there with some like chatty Cathy, like older people. I didn't put in my phone. Like I try to make it a point every day to stay off technology. And, I love computers. I work on computers. I'm on my phone. I play games all the time. I try to make it a point like throughout the day when on the weekends that I'm not on my phone. Like I'm outside doing stuff. I'm at the gym. I'm doing other things besides being on my phone all day, right? And it's kind of hard when you're at the gym or outside. You listen to music and stuff, but I'm not engaged what everybody else is doing. I'm just worrying about what's going on with me. And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with people nowadays is there's more social anxiety because they live through, phones and other crap. They don't live through, actually meeting real people in real life and having real life conversations with people and doing stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like that's a real problem. And I'm sure that's a real statistic, too, with that kind of crap going on. So, I don't know. I don't know if you guys get that feeling at all either, but I feel like
Well, it's funny because it's like, I'll know I don't have a text or call because I didn't feel a vibrate, but if I'm feeling like uncomfortable or something, like I would still like on days I have to go on site, like I pull my phone out, even though like I wasn't talking to anybody. I think I ended up just getting on Reddit just so I didn't sit there looking like a doofus. Although there were other people in the room, and it's just like, well, there was a chance. It's just like I could have just went and talked to them, but I decided to go the phone route. Where it's just like.
Everyone was probably more comfortable with that.
Well, nowadays, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's
Yeah.
the norm. It's like, what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years when something bigger comes out? I don't think it's going to happen, something crazy, like you said. Like
It's gonna be like this in 5 years. It's just gonna be like you're gonna be at some, I don't know, like maybe a Cardinals game or something, or maybe not, but like in a store, you're gonna make a comment to some kid, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, fuck you, you pervert," just for saying something.
I mean,
I guarantee.
I could.
it.
This is what I was thinking about, and I thought about it after I listened to it. It's like, could you imagine like 5 or 10 years? And the only reason I'm pulling this up because I've thought about it from a South Park episode. It's like, once if you had like some 3D goggles or something you put on, like some Google glasses, and they had like 4K or 8K cameras that like were plugged in at your seats in there, so you didn't actually have to be at the game. You could be at home drinking a beer, and it looked like you're actually at the game watching it. So you could be at 2 places at once. You know what I'm saying? Instead of actually watching it on
Yeah.
TV, you're actually live watching it at the game.
I think
there.
augmenting reality will be definitely
Oh,
a thing.
dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Augmented reality
Yeah.
is I can't wait till they do that good. Like
Yeah, where you could like sit on your couch with some fucking pair of goggles on, and it looks like you're sitting at Busch Stadium watching the Cards, or
Or it'd be like, say you're just sitting in this room and you would just get like just a feed of information, or like, or there would be like say you had like clocks, for instance, that was like compatible. So it's like the second you like flip on your augmented reality, it's just like something crazy just comes popping out of the clock or some shit like that,
Right.
Yeah, if you guys ever seen Altered Carbon on
no,
Someone
I meant to
watch
watch that.
no, dude, yeah, it's a great representation of augmented reality, and it's so well. And then that scene in Valerian, even
When they're at the
I still haven't
market,
watched that, and I'm
You still haven't
probably-
watched
I'm
that?
probably never gonna watch it, to be honest.
it was pretty good.
it was not bad for. I mean,
It's eye
technically,
candy, dude. It's eye candy.
it's a remake of like a comic series from the 70s or something, but like at least it was more original than most films coming out. That's what I appreciated about it.
But there was this whole scene in it, Randy, where it was just like they accessed this was like a bazaar on a planet. But
Yes, so it's like they're pretty much on this desert planet, and it could take you like dimensionally to like these different shops from different spots in the galaxy. So is like the idea. It's kind of weird, but like yeah, so basically like they can see this place, and Valerian actually has this like box he's supposed to steal. I forget what it was. Do you remember what he's supposed to get out of there?
Was it the blue ball?
I think it was. But yeah, anyway, like he has a way to like interact through this dimension. It was like just like cool technology, cool idea.
But yeah, no, it just reminded me of augmented reality. But it's just like all augmented reality is. It's like think about Pokemon Go, but like if you pair that with like Google Glasses, and it's just like like you're walking down the street with Google Glasses, a car drives by, and it's like, well, the glasses can tell the car's going like 26 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Just shit like that. I don't know. The future,
right? If you
there's
had
a lot to
HUD,
look forward to
That's
in the
pretty
future.
cool. I was thinking about when you're talking about the Pokemon Go, the Pokemon app where they're like searching for Pokemon. The kid's got the Google glasses, and the car's coming down, but there's Pokemon on the street, and walks and gets killed by the car because he's trying to catch the Pokemon. Like I was thinking something weird like that. That kind of shit would probably happen with that kind of augmented reality
Yeah.
stuff.
right?
They
Like
should-
self-driving
they should call
cars,
them Google
crashing.
goggles.
Google
Yeah.
goggles.
I want
goggles.
I want the
Google
Google Goth mask.
Google goggle, one of us.
I want one of those Goth masks with Google goggles on,
Yeah, that would be sick.
the vape ones.
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, to that point, yeah, I just think that's where it's gonna go. And yeah, I just hate this generation of social media bullshit. I'm sorry, I just can't stand it. Like, I'm not saying I don't get on it and use it for like following people and doing stuff, but I do. But I just cannot stand the simple fact that that people are that crazy over it nowadays. And I think it's worse with the younger generations of crap too, because that's all they do. Like there's no, like they'll be in the same classroom or right next to each other, and they'd rather text each other than actually talk to each other. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys got anything better to talk about besides my selfie stuff and my crap going on, but yeah.
No, I first noticed it when my nephew was younger, about how obsessed he was with playing phone games. And whenever he'd come over, he wanted to play on a phone, and then or on my brother's Xbox, and he has his own little phone now, and I don't know, man. It's just weird thinking about this whole generation growing up from when you were a little kid. Like you were messing around with like touch screens. It's like,
I mean, I guess in a way we kind of had the same thing. Like ours were just cartridges, Nintendo.
Yeah,
and
but that
shit.
was more like common because even our parents grew up with like Ataris and shit like that, and playing that kind of stuff. Like nowadays, you're growing up with like technology way more advanced than what we grew up with.
That's
and-
definitely true.
But
it's almost like you know how established like franchises are now.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like I mean, you got. I forgot where I was going with this.
Franchises.
franchises,
What about franchises?
You got
they're good and they have good deli meat.
God damn it!
I don't know, man. I mean, you're talking about.
Need more deli meats.
I mean, the thing I was bringing up about the kids.
What's this deli meat?
Is that like, a lot of my friends have kids now. It's like, and I'll probably do the same thing because it really does. An iPad is like the best babysitter. Like you can give your kid an iPad and they can play games and play on YouTube for like 8 hours straight, and you don't have to hear a peep out of them. That's what people want to do, which is kind of rotting their brain because that's what they learn. But it's like, I used to sit in front of my TV and play games all day. So I guess it's kind of the same concept, but it's different because it's a touchscreen and it's mobile where they can bring anywhere with them. I didn't have the mobile. None of us did.
yeah. We had to sit in front of the TV.
So, I mean, that's just the way it goes. And, you know, whatever. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing because it does make kids more intelligent, I think, learning and playing and doing stuff. But I think you have to do it with a limited time frame, like, because I don't think kids should be allowed to be on devices all day long, 7 days a week, doing that kind of shit. They still have to be active and doing stuff, you know, or they're just going to become, like you said, a hermit living inside their house all fucking day.
Yeah. Digging tunnels under the basement,
Yeah, under the basement to watch more.
turning into
Well,
mold
it's
men.
it's kind of weird to think about. Like, smartphones didn't come out till we were in our 20s, so we've kind of had, you know, at our own discretion, how much we use them. and I use my phone way too fucking much.
Everybody does.
I
though.
stay up till I lay down at 10, and then it's like 12:30 because I was watching YouTube for 2.5 hours. Like shit like that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it does have its perks. Like having a phone and having instant access to the internet at all times. The internet has changed the world. Without the internet, we'd be fucking lost nowadays with everything. It does everything for us, and I think it's a great utility and great tool. But like you said, we survive off it. It's like if I had to lose my cable in my house or not my electricity, but like let's say my cable in my house and something else. Internet would be the last thing I'd lose. My phone and my internet. Like I couldn't survive without either one of those. And that's what most people do nowadays. They'll let the electricity bill go on their house before their phone dies or the internet bill dies because that's what they fucking want to use. They have to live off it or whatever because they can't be engaged with work or whatever the fuck they do nowadays. But I mean, last night I used YouTube on my phone to stream a TV show to my Chromecast. I didn't want to go in my room. I can use it for my phone. I mean, that's cool. I think that all that kind of stuff is cool, but. Yeah, when I go to bed, I try to put my phone away and I put it in a drawer and I try to like not look at it at night because I know if I do, I'll get sucked in and start looking at shit for 2 hours and I'll stay up for another extra 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, it would be cool if I could you could put like a restriction on your phone, but at the same time, in emergency type of cases at night, you'd have to get into it or whatever happens. But yeah, I mean that's just the way the world goes nowadays, man. It's kind of sickening seeing how that shit happens, but. Maybe things will get better. It's probably not going to, though. I mean, you can see a perfect example. Like, when we go out to dinner the other night for, like, your birthday, Sam, nobody was on their phone, which was actually really enjoyable. We took a couple pictures. I was on it for, like, 5 minutes for a second, whatever, when I was taking a break from talking to people.
I didn't notice that. That was true.
No, we actually just had conversation most of the night.
I look at this stuff all the time. My wife always catches me. She's like, why are you always worried about this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. It just bothers me. That's just the way people do stuff. It's like, you pay all this money to come out and do something, enjoy it with other people, but you're sitting there looking at your phone screen like there's something more important than what's going on right now. Depending if you actually want to be there now. Like if you're stuck at some shitty wedding and you don't know anybody there, I get why you're on your phone and you feel like, you motherfucker. Anyway, Matt commented on our podcast calling us faggots, so I just wanted to make sure that was really him or somebody else.
That was really me.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much more to talk about on this podcast unless you guys got some.
Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. We woke up too early.
You know what, dude?
Actually, I got another topic. Let's talk about one more. Let's talk about the Second Amendment and how gun rights suck. And Matt is all about it. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, let's talk about how Steven Tyler looks like a fucking crazy old cat lady nowadays and doesn't even look like Steven Tyler anymore.
It looks like Cat in the Hat.
Do you guys still listen to Joey Diaz at all? One time I listened to him was on Joe Rogan, and every time he gets on, he's got the best stories ever. Like I think just living for some reason these people that are like live in Italy or like are Italian or Sicilian or whatever that live and grow up in the street, they got the most craziest stories and shit, and it's like they all band together. And here's a funny example. Last night I was eating dinner, my mother and father-in-law. And we're talking about the new piazza they're building down in St. Louis, down in the hill. You guys hear about that?
No.
They're building a
Piazza.
Yeah, piazza. You know, when you like after you go to church or like eating dinner or whatever, there's always like these like outside things that are like really like beautiful, like little parks that people go hang out in. It's gated and it's nice or whatever. Well, they're building it. Emo's donating it to them or whatever. And we're talking about it. I was like, man, that area down in St. Louis is kind of bad. And my father-in-law is like, yeah, but they have nothing to worry about because Sicilian people and all Italian people band together, and like if they see some person steal or vandalize anything, it's like they'll fucking kill that person and beat the shit out of them. Like they don't even let that stuff happen, And it's true. They always like protect their neighborhoods and do that kind of stuff. You wouldn't see that kind of stuff,
dude. You're perpetuating stereotypes right now against the Italian culture.
No, I'm not. That's just true.
You're
They have a
saying that they're all
defamation
violent gangsters.
No, I'm not saying they're violent gangsters. I'm just saying they're very, protective of their heritage and where they live, and it's like they don't let shit go to crap and let some person vandalize and mess it up.
Sorry, I was having a 2018 moment.
Yeah,
the hill really
Out of your
isn't in
basement.
the greatest part of the city.
But every time I go there, I feel perfectly safe.
I do too. But I have a friend that lived down there, and his family all came from Sicily and Italy, and like they don't speak English besides him. And he said he was down there, like everybody's super chill and nice. They're all like most people are from Italy, and they're all Italian. But yeah, It is a more rundown area nowadays, but it's like they have the best Italian food in St. Louis. If you're going to find anywhere, I don't care what anybody says. That's the place to go
Nah,
to get
dude,
Italian food.
Fazoli's off of Mid Rivers. You can drive right through.
Yeah, I want some buffet Italian food because what sounds better than getting buffet fucking Italian?
Dude, I miss that being a Jack in the Box.
What?
Fazoli's.
Fazoli's. Remember there used to be a Jack in the Box.
I thought you were saying they had spaghetti at Jack in the Box at
I
one
miss
point.
I miss Jack in the
Oh,
Box
God.
off of Jungerman, right there next to Schnucks and everything.
At
Yeah,
night.
that one
Old
too.
That was my
94.
hot spot, dude.
Yeah.
We used to hit that up before school after we got all blazed out and fucking go get there and get some food and bring it in, bring like 12 tacos in first hour. And my teacher would be like, "Oh, is that why you're tardy?" I'd be like, "Yep, getting some tacos." And kids would be like, "Hey, can I buy one of those off you?" That shit was always fun.
Yeah, $5.
Yeah, $5 right there.
$5,
Yeah.
Buster.
That's how much gas costs nowadays. Dude, why is gas going up, by the
Oh
way?
God, my gas light went off last night on my way home. I got to get gas.
Is there a reason why? I mean, is it just because summer right now? Gas is almost to $3 right now. I know
Well,
we're
it's
bitching
Memorial
about-
Day weekend. I know they always pump it.
Well, it's been
no,
it's been on an
going up.
uptrend the last month.
The
or
last
so.
month.
Trade wars.
I remember, trade wars. I remember the last month, gas was at $2.20, $2.30. I'm like, man, it's getting a little high. The next month, we're up to $3. So that's not Memorial Day, and that's not inflated prices. There's something else going on because after we bombed them or did whatever the fuck we did over there, it messed everything up with the oil stuff.
Somebody spilled a bunch.
Yeah, barrels are just going up in prices. I mean, that's the real reason why they're fighting and we're go back to that point. It's like we want control of the oil so we can fucking be greedy like we did with everything else and have our hands in it.
I wish I could just buy barrels of oil, just raw crude.
I wish I could.
It needs processing
I
though.
wish I could tar and feather you in,
Just
in the middle
fucking
of the
bury
street.
like 6 barrels, for the apocalypse.
Yeah,
Then
the
what
Purge.
would you do with it?
You see that movie coming out called The Purge?
Process
Looks-
it.
You're an idiot.
God damn it!
Yeah, that movie The Purge coming out looks terrible, by the way, if you guys see the trailer for it.
what
Which
birds looked good?
I thought the original.
It looked like another trash can movie that
Looks
Sam
good.
likes to go watch, and him and his boyfriends want to go see The Purge.
Trash can man.
Sam would rather have somebody purge in his mouth.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Let's wrap this up.
I'm not wrapping up. We got to keep going. This is a good podcast. We got good topics to talk about.
Holy me. Fuck you.
Let's talk about Instagram models. And how
No,
popular
stop
they are.
looking at random shit.
I want to talk about Instagram models. One last topic, and then we're done. All right. So this is the last. I know you guys are really entertained by us for our 2 viewers.
God.
Let's talk about how Instagram models make their money nowadays, and how people actually get more money off of that stuff. Yeah, I do.
Well, dude,
Okay, dude.
here's the
Here,
thing.
Let's just.
If they show their butts, I'm gonna look. You know.
Right.
But it is true. Like what I'm talking about. There's a new area of stuff where you don't even have to be a model any day to actually go to a modeling company. You can literally go on social media and become a model and become popular and get paid.
Oh God! Well, think about this. Imagine how many modeling agencies in California is like really for like porn. Like how many chicks that like wanted to get into modeling ended up getting cajoled into doing porn.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just weird. Like, there's so many girls I know on Facebook that actually try to become models because of social media, and they do all these posing, all these fake pictures and shit by some fucking no-name.
I always
preacher,
love the
fake-
fall posed ones where there's like fall themed.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's like leaves on the ground. Like what?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That just.
So sue me. I was just trying to contribute to the conversation.
Well, I like a fresh spring look. That's more my style.
Oh god.
Hey, it's your topic, Randy.
I just want to talk about it because Joe Rogan brought it up. I want to talk about it. So, fucking crying.
No, I'm sorry. Oh God.
But yeah,
all right.
it's weird. I'm just saying it's weird that we these people can get a job and doing nothing but so just posting a half naked picture of them, even if they're good looking. Most people aren't good looking.
But no, just to string my thought together earlier, I was saying that on purpose. Is it's like, Because I mean, it's like, look, dude, it's like probably safer for women nowadays to like go the Instagram route.
Yeah, then to have to
like,
get a job at
representation.
somebody's hotel room.
Right.
And he comes to the door with a bowl of strawberries
Yeah.
Says,
in a
will you-
rub.
Will you let me masturbate my
And then he takes
My
little
jizz-free
strawberries
Vika
and
over
starts
here.
rubbing it on his nipple. And the other one,
My nipples.
he puts whipped cream.
He walks in, he walks in with a Harvey Weinstein shirt on and just says, "Right, we're getting down to business real quick. First, let's get this out of the way."
Harvey's laying in bed, and the what's her face? His agent's walking the poor lady in, and he's just like holding a bottle of tequila. He's like, "You want to do a body shot?"
Yeah, off his,
You know,
like,
Off his fat fucking ass.
I was reading some stuff about that and said the girls that used to come in and audition for him, or whatever, that he would just be in a robe, like getting ready, like from the walk-in. One of the things was like they had to watch him jack off into a tree vicus or some shit. And it's like,
Jesus Christ!
what are you doing to that fucking tree in the first off, or why are you jacking off into that? And it's like, I thought I came here for a job, not to watch you jack
Well,
off.
they're finally pressing charges, and that's all I'm saying, man. Is I mean, he was the ringleader, right? He's the one who started all of this, and he's the one that there's.
yep,
there's
he invented raping chicks.
I mean, if there's evidence, it's like
Oh, and
that's all I've been saying.
he invented rape culture.
He did.
Yeah, so like he put it out there. There's an actual real rape culture. Actually, no, there's not, and it's already been proven. These people are fucking stupid. But I would say before
Well, I'm
before we
keeping my job.
yeah,
so-
I know. Before we leave this podcast, say I can't believe that they're still doing witch hunts, and now they're doing one on Morgan Freeman. It's like the dude's
Oh,
like
yeah.
85 years old. What are you guys gonna get out of this now? It's like there's nothing. It's like
You already got Cosby. Leave Morgan alone.
right. This is my point to it. It's like you're in a celebrity. People who are celebrities, and it goes back 20 or 30 years or 10 years. You're in the spotlight. Women throw yourselves at you, and nowadays, if some girl threw herself at you 10 years ago and you said something to her inappropriate, regardless, now they're trying to pull all the woodworks and be like, 15 years ago, Morgan Freeman touched my butt and said he wanted to fuck me in the ass or something. It's like, okay, what does it have to do with 15 years to now? Because does he still do that? Probably not. He was probably back then he was pimping, and he was like, the head person in fucking Hollywood with
Dude,
movies.
he was Mr. Sam's.
Yeah. So my point is, it's like everybody's looking for like their handouts. Everybody wants a handout nowadays for something because it's become part of this, Me Too movement with the rape culture bullshit.
I want to keep my job.
Sam, I've already called your work and sent them a picture of you with the Nazi symbols. So you're pretty much losing your job tomorrow. Get your box and get your shit
I
ready.
just want everybody to know who's listening. My beliefs are my own. Everybody's beliefs are their own. Nobody speaks for me. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with anything that was said.
Yeah, I'm more into like the summer like pics.
The summer bikini pics.
Yeah, I'm more the ones where they're bent over and they drop the
I like
penny.
The fall ones.
I like the fall one with the leaves.
I like the fall ones.
I like the fall school ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Must be the coffee talking.
Coffee talk.
So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the podcast. I think we've made you guys listen
Have
to
you
some of our
had your
sick
fill?
jokes enough. Yeah, we had your fill. So, please don't subscribe to our channel. And
Leave us alone.
pretty much, if you guys want Sam's email to harass him, I'll put that and post that in the comments. Thanks for listening. See you guys next time.